Hello, my name is Sophia, I'm Ukrainian and I am 19 years old. At 16, I graduated from Taras Shevchenko State Art High School, where I picked up the basics by doing traditional art. I understand that 16 may sound too young to graduate, but I swear it's totally doable in Ukraine. You don't have to skip grades or anything. I started school at 5 and I graduated 11 years later. Simple as that. Then I completed my Bachelor of 2D, 3D animation at LISA in Paris. I can't tell you why I chose France. All I knew is that I want to study animation in Europe in English, and when I had my interview with LISA, they suggested I skip the first year of the program because of my traditional background, and that sounded like a sweet deal to me at the time, so I said, okay, I guess I'll be learning French now. LISA had its ups and downs, but at the end of the day I learned a variety of stuff about the animation industry. But as I inched closer to completing my degree, I felt like I could take on something more challenging. More importantly, I was still not quite sure about what part of the animation industry I fit into, but I knew that I wanted to push my skills and learn more about creating a great story, something I felt like I did not learn much at LISA. I have heard of Gobelins before. People there seem too cool, like the kind of people I can't sit at the same lunch table with. And yet, in late April of this year, I was accepted into the Gobelins Masters of Arts, Character Animation and Animated Filmmaking. So, yeah, here we are, and here are all the tips that I believe helped me get accepted by Gobelins first try. Of course, these might not apply to every person, but I hope you will find them useful since I will be mentioning advice given to me by the teachers from Gobelins, as well as answering some questions that I got under my Gobelins demo reel video. And I will want to let you know that I will be focusing on the master's animation process because this is the one I applied for. But I'm sure these tips can be applied to bachelors too, just please don't panic. First things first, I believe that I could not have gotten to Gobelins at a luckier time. Some may already be asking, what is this master's Gobelins thing? To explain it simply, until this year, when you applied to the Gobelins animation, you were applying for a 4-year block, 2 years in bachelor and 2 years in master's. When you finished your bachelor, you would be transferred to the master's automatically. If you were someone that did their bachelor's in animation at a different school and or worked in animation for 5 years, you could apply directly to master's, but there would be a limited amount of space available, as well as other complications. But this year, the process changed. Now you do 3 years of bac and 2 in master's. When you finish with your 3 years, you have to take a test, just like a person applying straight to master's would, to continue the master's. But because this year is the first year this change is in place, there are no third-year bachelor students to move, which means there's a whole empty class for outside people to apply to. How do I know all that? While I was still at LISA, there was a storyboard workshop which I attended, and the teacher leading the workshop was from Gobelins. He told us about this opportunity and said that if anyone was planning to apply for masters, he would be happy to give feedback for portfolios and whatnot. When I heard that, I thought it's now or never, and I think that's what gave me the motivation and energy to really try hard to prepare for all of this. If you go to the Gobelins website and read through, you will find detailed information about their courses and how to apply. I will explain what I had to prepare and how I handled the requirements, but they really vary from bac to master's and also just slightly from year to year. So after studying the admission requirements, documents, and reading the website's information leaflets, you still have questions, please feel confident to just contact Gobelins directly. They will explain everything much better than me. They respond quite quickly, in English too, and they're just super nice. Don't feel afraid to contact them. No matter what year you're applying for, the application is in 2 parts, the selection based on portfolio and then on the oral interview. You will need to provide a CV attached to your motivation letter and a motivation video for masters. I'm not sure bachelors have that. Portfolio, and if all goes well, you will need to pass an oral exam, which just means an interview. In my case, we needed to provide a portfolio in the form of a demo reel, max 2 minutes long, with no music, showcasing our personal and professional work, which will show our animator and director skills like animation, storyboard, layout, modeling, concept art, character design, and all that stuff. You need to show both 2D and 3D skills here. You could hate 3D with all your heart, but you need to give at least something to show you're familiar with it. Same if you prefer 3D, you still need to show drawings. At first I had no idea how to choose my works, but with the help of the workshop teacher from earlier, I think I figured it out. According to him, Gobelin Masters is looking for 2 types of students. People who are very good at animation and want to become better at 3D or background or something else, or people who are generally pretty good at everything, but want to become really good at some one thing, like animation. No matter what, you cannot apply if you have never animated before. There's a certain level of animation skill that you must have. A teacher at Gobelins Open Day told me that a lot of talented painters and illustrators apply, but may not be accepted because the people with animation experience will be favored. At the moment, I consider myself more of a generalist. I do not feel like there's any one specific thing that I want to do in the industry or that I'm very good at. With the teacher's advice, I chose to show a little bit of the best bits of every category with a focus on the ones that show my creativity and motivation. You show motivation by doing a good presentation. It does not have to be anything obnoxious, maybe a simple theme for the beginning and end card, for example. Give your drawings and animation space to breathe. Give the audience enough time to look at everything and try not to put fast animation with abrupt cuts next to each other, for example. Something I could have done better in my demo was if I made this sketch animation a loop, so I can cleanly play it a couple of times and give the viewers time to process it because it's quite too quick on its own. Also, leave room for pictures to breathe next to each other. Really choose what is important to show. For my demo, I scanned my sketches, picked the ones I liked best, and then edited them together in a sheet on Photoshop like this. Here's actually a previous version of the image, which was too crammed in my opinion, so I changed it up. A portfolio is quality over quantity, after all. That reminds me, there are different ways you can lay out a portfolio, but one of the good ways to do it would be to start and end with your best work. Second best in the middle, and just good work in between. I try to use this for every category too. For example, my drawing part is in the middle, but I try to show what I think my 2 best are at the beginning and end. Avoid putting stuff you don't like just to fill in the space. Mix things that show skill and creativity with things you personally care about. And of course, leave notes about your drawings. Note if it was personal, school, or professional project. Note if it was alone or in a group, and if in a group, what part of the work you did. Writing some personal details like that is great. All of this will help make your portfolio stand out. Motivation letters can be tricky if you never had to write it before, but the main things you need to get across are: who are you? What is your artistic and cultural background? What personal and group projects have you worked on before? A fun question to answer would be: why did you choose to study animation specifically instead of choosing any other art form? Why did you choose Gobelins? Here's a good time to mention a professional that might have suggested it to you. It would be a big plus if you visit the Gobelins Open Day. The next one should be somewhere in winter. I would monitor the website. Maybe there will be an online version too, like the last time. I'm suggesting this not only because you get to see the school, meet the students, you get to meet the teachers and get their feedback on your portfolio, but also because you can state in a motivation letter something like, "For the professional recommendation of so-and-so, I have decided to come to the open day to get to know the school better, and after seeing it and meeting the people, I was convinced it is exactly what I'm looking for." Or something like that, maybe less pretentious, I don't know. What are your professional goals? What are you going to do after graduating, and how will Gobelins help achieve that? While answering this question, and the ones before, keep this in mind. For the master applicants at least, Gobelins needs to see that you chose Gobelins because you want to be an animation director, that you see this as an opportunity to work on a group film with students with different cultural background. Even if you don't want to become an animation director, you're interested in creating a story. Maybe you want to be a storyboarder, or you don't just want to draw pretty pictures, you want to work on a story with a group of people. As I see it, at the end of the day, we're just some creative and motivated people who want to meet other cool people so we can share our experiences and create cool things together. Even if we are not sure what we want to do next, we trust that the school will help us find out. And as for the motivation video, it's basically your motivation letter compressed into 2 minutes of you sitting and talking to your camera. This might be even more difficult for a lot of people. I'm shy too, but for the motivation video, the goal is to show that you are able to present yourself well with confidence. What I did was write a script, memorize it, and then just act as if I know what I'm talking about. I did like 100 takes and picked the most okay one in the end. The exact same thing I'm doing for this YouTube video right now, reading out my script in some basement. Actually, writing a small keycard to keep on the side of your vision instead of a script will be much better and will sound more natural. Just make sure to look in your camera and don't dart your eyes around too much. Make it a habit to look into the camera. Make sure the video and audio quality are good. I actually had to record the video with my phone, but record the audio with my laptop because my laptop video is blurry and the phone audio was muffled. Then I did some color correcting in Premiere Pro and Google how to remove noise from audio to clean things a little, but it's enough to just have a good lighting and no background noise. If you want your application to stand out, you can choose a more fun setting, like walk in a park maybe, if you're feeling brave. Congrats! You did it! Your portfolio was cool, you are cool, and now you are given an interview date. If you are an international student like me, it will probably be online, so I will give tips for that because I didn't have the real life experience. You will be given a link to join where you must show up on time. There, you will wait in a virtual waiting room with some other anxious students. A technician will help you make sure your video and audio are working. You will need to have your ID ready to show to the camera, and then the interview with a couple of school staff that will begin. And they will ask you to introduce yourself. How did you find out about Gobelins? Who are some people that inspire you? Artists, directors, maybe other people in your life. What is your favorite piece of media and why? They might also ask things like, if you had an unlimited budget, what movie would you produce? What are you planning to do when you are done with Gobelins? I would suggest just keeping in mind what you wrote for the motivational letter. And for things like people or movies that inspire you, I would keep those specific things on a key card next to your vision as well. And again, make sure to look at the people you're speaking with. Have good lighting, camera at your eye level, and a simple, pleasant background. Really, these people are very nice and casual and friendly. They're interested in what you have to say, and they will ask follow-up questions. Just be yourself. Try to stay confident and passionate about what you have to say, but don't oversell it, of course. If you have trouble with presentations in general, I would think it's a good idea to practice with friends. And so, fingers crossed, after all that, you got accepted. Another thing that could happen is that you can be put on a waiting list. That means that if a person that got accepted rejects the offer, or a free space appears any other way, the person next in the waiting list can fill in that space. If you find yourself in the waiting list, even at the bottom, it does not mean that it's too late. Stay in contact with Gobelins and ask for updates, and you might have a good chance to still get in. And even if you get rejected this year, that is totally okay. It might not even be due to your skill. A lot of talented people are applying at once, and you are one of them. You are one of the talented people, but there's only so many vacant spaces. There are 2 sessions of application in a year normally, so if you applied in the first wave, you can ask Gobelins if you can try again in the second one. Chances are you can. In the end, the best thing to do is to get feedback from Gobelins. To ask what is it that you need to improve. Most likely it will be animation according to the teachers from the open day I attended. I would recommend joining some kind of group, like a Discord server, which I will link down below. That's the server that I was in while I was applying, and I found it very helpful. It would be nice to be with people who also try to apply and to meet people who applied already, current students like me. You can share your feedback, get inspired by other people, and practice interviews or French. Please don't go into all of this alone. It is so much more motivating to have people on your side. Things are always easier when you work together, which is why I wanted to make this video in the first place. There are not a lot of videos talking about the Gobelin application process, in English especially, talking about the masters especially. So I really hope that you learned something from what I had to share, or at least you feel reassured that this is very possible. Please don't see this school as something scary. Everyone here has been through the same anxieties in the past, so if you have a question that bothers you, they will be happy to answer. I myself will try my best to answer questions in the comments below, and in case I got some details wrong in this video, I will put a note of that in the comments too. So thank you so much for sticking around till the end. Please feel free to give me an honest feedback, as I would count this as my first serious YouTube video. Even as I was writing the script, I knew it would not be perfect, but unlike my other ideas, at least this video exists, and this idea actually made it into reality. So, are you interested in hearing more? I could make a sketchbook tour or talk about the painful bureaucracy of the French administration system that I have to deal with as an international student, or both. Or I could do nothing and focus on schoolwork. Guess time will tell. Oh, and last thing, I have a little secret message. Секретне послання, if you will, моїм українцям та україночкам. Поки інші люди тут читають субтитри, я хочу вам окремо подякувати, що ви подивилися це відео. Бажаю вам успіхів, це справді крута школа, і мені вас всіх тут не вистачає, тож бігом поступати. Та навіть якщо ви не плануєте поступати в Гобелін, то сподіваюся, це відео показало трохи, як вступ працює в європейських художках. Alright, I will be heading out now. Bye-bye. Бізу. Слава Україні.